Hey guys, thanks for checking out another GearBarrel.com short little overview video. Hanging out with custom knife maker Don Lozier in his shop.
That's me.
What do you got going on here, Don?
Well, I'm going to talk about this EDC Dagger here in a little bit. I was just thinking many times having a knife maker student in my shadow has made me stop and think about how to explain how I do what I'm doing. Ordinarily, students have questions and teachers provide answers, but in this skill, that doesn't always work out. As an example, when a student asks me how much pressure I'm applying as I hold a piece of steel against a moving grinder belt or a disc grinder, I'm pretty much at a loss for words. On the other hand, I'll try to share something about it. In football, we sometimes see a quarterback who just naturally has a hot hand. Well, in my world, we sometimes see a maker who just naturally has what we call great touch. So, when I sit down here to do one of these double ground blades like we're looking at here, I lock my body firmly in one position for successive passes when grinding a blade. I use a firm grip with a feather touch. It's a bit like doing isometric exercise for long periods. It's exhausting, but very rewarding. Even with God-given ability, developing skill in freehand grinding involves frequent practice for months on end. This amounts to a lot of grueling labor, filth and dust, and burning fingers until they're numb. These parts of my fingers right here are pretty numb, just from grinding double ground blades on small contact wheels. Sometimes a student is reluctant to apply sufficient pressure to make meaningful progress. On the other hand, they may think that the grid in motion will do the job, and there's not all that much work to knife making. If that's the case, they're dead wrong, because what I say about firm grip and feather touch and isometric is true. There's a lot of work to it. Another common reason for lack of progress is fear. Fear of trashing the material and fear of injury. Look at it this way. We can always get more material, but new fingers, that doesn't work out. Let's not go there. Safety is paramount. On the bottom line, that firm grip with a feather touch is required for two things: making freehand knives, or making knives freehand, and efficient parenting. And I know my share about both.
Yeah, that's right.
For an EDC Dagger with a belt carry sheath, there simply isn't a better choice or better value available today. The overall length of this piece is 8.5 inches with a 3.9 inch blade from the bolster to the tip. The blade is freehand double ground in CPM 154 stainless steel. That blade was ground using a 2-inch by 2-inch contact wheel, creating a radical grind radius. That grind is deep. Radical grind radius for a pronounced blade spine. That pronounced blade spine provides a real strong tip on this double ground knife. If you use a larger diameter contact wheel, you're wiping out this steel as you approach the tip, and it's real thin out here. So grinding on these small diameter contact wheels, there's a lot more resistance, so it's a lot more difficult to do, but the results is worthwhile.
That's pretty
The
cool.
blade, the bolsters, and the edges are mirror polished. This knife isn't half done, it's all the way done. Has satin finish flats. That's these parts right in here. That's the satin finish flats. The dovetail bolsters, front and rear, are 410 stainless steel, and they all fit exactly the way they're supposed to. There's no gaps, nothing. The scales are Nicholas impregnated Canadian maple burl. It's full tang construction. Certificate of authenticity is included with the custom sheath that you see here. Custom sheath has an eagle head up here over top of basket weave, hand tooling. It's a really nice sheath. It's well worth the money, and it's one of the best values on the market today.
Thanks for sharing, Don, especially about the 2-inch contact wheel. It's really, you've been teaching me about that, and I didn't realize that until, talking to you about.
Here's a rough ground piece. I rough ground this piece yesterday. And that's ground on a 2-inch diameter contact wheel.
Wow.
That makes all the difference in the appearance and the strength of the blade.
Not going to snap. It's not,
No, Got lots of steel all the way out to the tip.
Thanks, Don.
That's all of my daggers and Persian fighters and all that stuff was all ground on small diameter contact wheels. There are people out there that can recognize my work from a mile away. I had Dan Paragalini, he's another knife maker. He saw a photo of one of my of somebody else's knife on the cover of a knife annual, and he said, "I know who ground that blade. It was the master of the small wheels." And he's talking about me because I had ground the blade for the guy who had made that knife and put his name on it and won the best of show in Paris with it, and then got it on the cover of the knife annual. And I thought it was comical. I just laughed and I said, "Oh, so be it."
Good stuff. Thanks, Don.
Okay, that takes care of that gentleman.
My phone is having a fit.
Your phone is having a fit. All right. I'm giving it something to do today, huh?
Mm-hmm.